Good morning, Cedar Park High School. It's Monday, March 9th, and it's an A-Day. I'm Abby Martinez, in for Ellen Neal.
And I'm Evan Vines.
On today's show, we take a deeper look at what exactly the coronavirus is and compare fact versus fiction you might be reading online.
And an update on FCA and Photo Club.
Plus, the top 3 things you need to know today.
Pet of the Week, and Luke Johnson has a feature on head basketball coach Donnie Ott in our sports report.
Turn it up because the packed Wolfcast starts now. Something that everyone is talking about now is the coronavirus.
That's right. The new coronavirus, COVID-19, has been a big topic since the first cases were reported in December 2019, and everyone sure has an opinion on it. Reporter Giselle Munez has more information on this topic.
Thanks, Evan. I talked to multiple people from the Cedar Park community. Some of them are really scared of this outbreak, while others think that it's just the flu. Take a look.
Just kind of taking over. Things are really happening.
It's not that big of a deal, honestly.
Really, our priorities as a nation right now are out of whack.
I didn't think it was going to be a big deal, but it seems like it is becoming one.
Because I don't really think I could be affected. It's something that we need to be very aware of.
But every time someone says it's bad, someone else says it's not bad and that we don't have to worry about it.
It's overrated, and I think people are freaking out about it. It's just the flu.
What is the truth and what is COVID-19? Today, 69 days after the first case was reported, the coronavirus has spread to over 100 countries. More than 111,000 cases have been confirmed, around 62,000 people have recovered, and there have been almost 4,000 deaths. There have been over 500 cases in the US, and more than 20 people have died. Let's start with this question. What is COVID-19? Coronavirus disease 2019 is a respiratory illness that can be spread from person to person. This virus does not have a treatment or vaccine yet.
I mean, we know that 80% of patients have very mild illness. And for example, one good news is we see that our children are not really manifesting symptoms. However, we know that children are carrying the virus.
Older people and people with pre-existing medical conditions like asthma, diabetes, heart diseases, and others appear to be more vulnerable to becoming badly ill with the virus. What are the symptoms? The most common symptoms are fever, cough, shortness of breath, and others. The symptoms are very similar to the flu, but they are not the same thing. The flu's mortality rate is 0.1%. The coronavirus mortality rate is 3.4%. Starting with 0.2%, increasing all the way to 14.8% as the person gets older. So people with a healthy immune system are in a much safer place than people with a weak immune system. But this doesn't mean that they should lay back and forget about it. Keep in mind that even if you have a good immune system, you may still get the virus and spread it to others. How does COVID-19 spread? The disease spreads through the small droplets from the nose or mouth of a person with COVID-19. The disease can also be transmitted if a person breathes those droplets or touches a surface where the droplets have fallen to then touch their mouth, nose, or even their eyes. The disease can also be transmitted if a person breathes those droplets or touches a surface where the droplets have fallen to then touch their mouth, nose, or even their eyes. This brings us to another question. But what if you wear a mask?
The mask is really mostly helpful for people who are already coughing because it protects other people from the results of that cough. Most of the masks that are out there right now, the thin surgical masks, they don't really protect directly, and it may be that we are using too many masks because who really needs the masks is the health workers, the nurses and doctors who are treating people in hospital.
These are the things you need to remember.
Number one, if you're ill, stay home, and I'm sure we're going to support individuals to stay home. That is so important till we really understand what's going on. Washing hands, using a tissue to cover your mouth when you cough and disposing of it if you're next to a sick person, walking away. So those are some common things. It's our responsibility to really educate the public.
Remember that this virus can affect people of all ages, so be sure to follow instructions on how to protect yourself and others.
Thank you, Gigi. Remember to tune in with the Wolfcast on Wednesday for information on how the coronavirus is affecting the economy.
If you have any questions about COVID-19, contact us through Instagram and we will get you answers.
Fellowship of Christian Athletes, or FCA, is a worldwide club that can be found in many schools, including our own. Our chapter of FCA, under the name Timberwolves for Christ, meets every Thursday morning with members that are ready to play games, sing worship songs, give talks and speeches, and collaborate. President Elise Orgeron has more details.
I just really like the fellowship that we kind of get from one another, and we have just a lot of fun hanging out, and we always get to grow kind of closer to each other and our faith. And so we meet every Thursday at 7:45, but it usually doesn't really start until 7:58-ish, and we have like breakfast every week, and it's kind of just a constant group of people that you can always rely on and be friends with.
Miss Asha's art class and photography club got to go on a trip on February 28th. Her art class and photography club got to go to the McNay Museum of Art in San Antonio to take pictures of the art and study it. Her students really like these trips because they have the chance to learn outside of the classroom, be creative, and expand their horizons. Junior Michaela Caruso said this about the trip.
We get to enjoy the time with our classmates and get to know them more, and it's just a lot of fun because it's the whole day. It's like based on having fun.
If you are interested in learning about Photography Club, pay Miss Asha a visit in rooms 4002 and 4003 in the B building.
Coming up next, we have the top 3 things you need to know today, a sports report, and a new pet of the week.
But first, a quick word from our sponsor.
Smoky Moe's Barbecue, the best barbecue that money can buy. Proudly supporting Cedar Park High School.
Hi, I'm Justin Bourne. Welcome to Top 3 Things You Need to Know this morning. First, for the first time in its 34-year history, South by Southwest has been canceled due to concerns associated with the coronavirus. In an announcement on Friday, led by Austin Mayor Steve Adler, the city of Austin declared a local disaster in wake of growing concerns. Adler said it was, quote, unfortunate to have to cancel this historic event, but the city wanted to do whatever was necessary for public safety. Next, Senate Ted Cruz is currently in house of quarantine after coming in contact with someone who tested positive for the coronavirus less than 2 weeks ago. Cruz and the affected individual spoke briefly and shook hands at the Conservative Political Action Conference in late February. Even though Cruz currently has no symptoms, Cruz said out of caution he will remain in his Texas home until 14 days have passed since his interaction. Lastly, the 2020 primaries continues today for many states, and a new poll by CNN reveals that former Vice President Joe Biden has double-digit lead over Vermont Senate Bernie Sanders. The poll finds 52% of registered voters who are Democrats say they want to see Biden win the nomination versus the 36% who prefer Sanders. Along with these numbers, Biden has also recently seen endorsement from former candidates such as South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg, Senator Kamala Harris, and most recently, Senator Cory Booker.
Thank you, Justin. And just to clarify, it is former Mayor Pete Buttigieg, but thank you very much. You're very right that a lot of endorsements are coming in for Joe Biden, definitely. And what are your guys' views on the coronavirus?
I think everyone just staying safe, washing their hands, staying away from people who are sick.
It's definitely not getting any better.
Yeah.
Definitely not. It's getting
if
a
you
lot
get
worse.
it, don't come to school.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
We now throw it over to Luke Johnson for what's been going off in TO Sports. Luke?
Thanks, Abby, and welcome to the Wolfcast Sports Report. I'm Luke Johnson. The women's basketball team have gone on a tear these past 3 years, and it's all thanks to one man. Coach Ott is a prime example of an amazing coach, and coaches across the district should take note. I learned a lot about Coach Ott's coaching history and the building blocks on how he managed to push these girls to dominate women's basketball in Texas. Take a look. Before his 3 straight district championships, Coach Ott had to start somewhere to learn the ropes of coaching.
I started coaching in the spring of 2000 at a small school called Lorain, Texas, right outside of Sweetwater. I did a semester there, the spring semester, and then I actually took my first official coaching job. I was assistant football and basketball with Coach Ben Faulkner, who was here at Cedar Park. He was my mentor. He was the head boys basketball coach, and I was his assistant.
The opposing team's coaches watch in awe as Coach Ott jumps up and down, encouraging his players to work harder and come out with the win.
I'm a really firm believer that what you do and how you show it can exhibit that behavior to kids, and kids can kind of follow suit. In other words, if you're passionate about what you do, it's easy for other people to follow. And so I want to coach with the energy and the passion that I would want my kids to play with. You know, showing them that excitement, showing them that raw emotion, you know, hopefully helps them to understand just how much we really enjoy it.
As the father of 2 daughters, people wonder if they are destined for future stardom with their father as one of the best women's basketball coaches in Texas.
You know, 14 years of my 20 years have been in boys, you know, on the boys' side, but when we adopted our first daughter, you know, I felt like at that point I needed to kind of direct myself towards coaching girls because I wanted to coach them at some point. And I didn't want to wait until they were in high school and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to coach girls now, and then have never had any experience coaching girls because it is a different, you know, beast. It's a whole different nature. And so I'm hoping that by the time they get up into junior high and high school that I'll have enough years of experience coaching girls that I can, you know, be successful when coaching them.
Make sure to congratulate Coach Ott on his massive success as a coach and how he has impacted the students of Cedar Park with his positive attitude and overflowing energy. To begin our Wolfcast Sports Report, on Saturday we saw our boys soccer team take home the win against Rouse. They won with a score of 1-0, making the number of wins this season go into double digits with 10. Your boys soccer team will face Marble Falls tomorrow here at home starting at 7:15. On the other side of the field, your girls varsity soccer team will also face Marble Falls tomorrow at 7:15, being held at Marble Falls High School. Throwing it to your varsity girls softball team, they have an away game tomorrow against Elgin starting at 7. Good luck, girls. And lastly, your varsity boys baseball team will face Wakeland at home starting at 4, so make sure to show up and be loud. That's all I have for y'all today. With CPHS News, I'm Luke Johnson.
Thanks, Luke.
We'll be right back with Pet of the Week, but first, today's announcements.
Before we go, it's time for your Pet of the Week.
This is Alana Guerrero's cat, Maggie. She loves to cuddle and her favorite activity is to eat. Playing with the other cats in the house is a part of her daily agenda and is very sweet towards them. Alana compares her to a Sour Patch Kid. Incredibly sweet, but can be real feisty sometimes.
That's all we have for you today. Remember, you can catch anything you missed on the Wolfcast on our YouTube channel. Just search CPHS News.
And we'll be back tomorrow with a story over how Princess T went.
Plus, your TUF Spotlight, and Katie Smith has her Scholarship of the Week. I'm Abby Martinez.
And I'm Evan Vines. Remember to make it a great day or not. The choice is yours. Have a phenomenal day, Cedar Park.